All right, call to order. Katie, you're passing signage thing around, so everybody just join in. I have one agenda addition, and that's the wetlands dry hydrant thing, a brief discussion on that. So,
Make a motion that we add that to old business tonight.
all right. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
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 Anyone opposed? And you want that under old business. Is there anything else? All right, approval of the meeting minutes from November 13th, 2023. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Okay, hearing none. All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
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 Anyone opposed? Okay. All right, how about a highway report from the road commissioner?
We want to bring it to the board's attention about the salt we have. We approved it to have Appalachia supply us with salt, and we're figuring out with the additive we put to it, the molasses, and or I should call it magic. It's actually with labor and buying the material and spraying it on herself. It's actually just cheap. It's a little bit cheaper actually for us to get it already pre-mixed. They were adding $15 a ton for the pre-mix. If you look at it, it's roughly, I didn't bring my figures with me, roughly $11 to $12 a ton for us to apply it. That says nothing about the time it takes to mix it and the labor and stuff and the wear and tear and the loader and fuel and stuff. So my suggestion is that and the reason why we're bringing this up now is we are almost out of magic in the liquid tank down there. Got enough for maybe 1 or 2 more trailer loads, and then we'd have to order another load of magic. We've been getting 4,300 gallons at a time, and that's $1.75 a gallon. We use about 6 to 8 gallons of magic per ton of salt, and this will be already, if we bought it already pre-treated, that's already mixed in there that way.
So you're actually looking at a little bit of savings by getting it.
Yeah, as Alf said, the pennies,
It's
Yep.
right close.
it's
now.
close, but yeah. And then there's times that when we need salt and stuff, we try to have salt on hand all the time, be proactive about it. But if we get into a busy part of plowing and stuff, we stress a little bit to get that mixed up and do it the right way as far as timing and stuff. So my suggestion is to maybe get 1 more load or 2 loads, whatever it takes to use up the product that we have, and from there and out to go with the premix. And I guess a lot of other towns are doing it that way too. I didn't know what the board's pleasure was with it.
I don't know, did you have any recommends?
I recommend it.
You do?
Yes.
The magic you're still going to use as dust control in the summertime, right?
No, that's mag chloride. That's actually different.
Oh, I thought we were using the same stuff.
We
It's
used
different? It used to be the same stuff.
Used to be the same stuff, but we switched to this other stuff that was. Have Katie or Heidi look. I think it was like 86 cents a gallon for the mag chloride.
Oh, okay.
So which is different
Okay.
product.
They switched to actually using a product that's meant for the roads for dust control rather than using a product that was not as
Intended for
efficient.
You
Right.
can use the magic for dust control, but it's a lot more expensive way of doing it. That's why we switched over to the mag chloride for dust control, and actually it adheres to the road, the fines and the bigger particles in the road better.
I'll make a motion that we authorize the road commissioner to utilize whatever he needs to use the rest of the magic, and then switch over to pre-treated salt.
I'll say.
Yeah, all right, Art seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Art,
Art did.
you have anything else, Cash?
That's all I have, unless Katie has something. I've kind of been out of the loop with my knee surgery and stuff.
I don't believe anything.
Okay, does anybody have any questions for the road commissioner? Okay, moving right along. Approval of select board warrants. Is there a motion?
A motion for what?
To sign these? Or we're just gonna sign them?
Just sign them.
We don't
We all
usually make a
signed
motion.
them.
I know. But I didn't know if you wanted to make a motion. Guess. And I'm looking, Jan, do you wanna be,
It's my turn.
She's under old business.
I know, but I mean, instead of having people sitting here
Okay.
all afternoon, evening, go ahead.
Okay. I'm just here to, have follow-up from when I was here, in, September 25th. I was here talking about the, speeding on the bump road and the East Street Road. So Katie's been great helping me with the, sheriff's, report, so we can kind of get an idea of what's going on. I have to say, in the last 3 months, there's been, this is since, August, there's been, 18 times that the sheriff has been on the East Street and Bump Road. And out of those 18, 7 of those times, they have been down to the bridge, which to me is like a little bit of an improvement. They're definitely going down there. Obviously, it's going to be next to impossible to try to catch some of the bad actors down there, but at least they're making an attempt, and I appreciate that. We had also talked about the speed cart that day, and I know that the speed cart was placed on a Freesia Road on the 29th, and I drove by there today, and it's still there.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
And we've been trying to get the sheriffs to move that. We've made several calls. I know I've talked to some people there. Katie, how many times have you called?
Well, I emailed when Jan and I last talked, and I think that was before Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
2 weeks before Thanksgiving, and he said he would hope to have it moved in the next week or so, but it depended on when Sergeant Cross was back from his leave, which I was not aware of what that date would be. I tried to contact Lieutenant Gino today, who's in charge of scheduling, and he was in court and unable to answer phone calls, so I left him a voicemail.
Well, the email you sent me on the 9th, I said that you, they told you, from what you told me, that they were gonna move it next week.
That was the
That was on the 9th.
Yeah.
Right.
So that was November
was-
9th, correct?
Yeah, November 9th, right.
And that did not happen.
So
It's like
I don't
that.
want to speak. I don't want to speak out of turn, but I got told by a reputable source off the record that the speed cart is getting to the time of year that it will not work anymore, and that they were probably going to be putting it up for the winter. I don't know how true that is, but that's what I got told, because it's solar operated
Right.
and it will not operate. And actually, if you drive by Freesia, you'll notice it has not been operating half the time.
It was operating today when I went by, but the
Sunny
other day,
days.
it wasn't operating.
They said sunny days it'll work, and then at night it
We do
doesn't.
get sun in the winter, so,
I guess
That's what I was told off the record.
I'm sorry, I
I-
just find that as a really lame excuse.
it's also because of the snow and plowing.
Right.
They're afraid of plowing.
I know that I've driven by and it hasn't been working. But that's if it worked today. I mean, obviously the sun was out today, so it probably. But
On the other hand, it just that seeing that thing, even if it's not working,
yep.
it might.
So
It
Defer
does.
some of the people, slow down a little bit.
This is
I mean, again, it's not our equipment, so I can't speak.
Take notice.
I can't speak to it because it's not ours. But that's what I was told off the record. I was told off the record that
During the winter.
it probably will be getting put up soon, is what I was told. But
So, I guess, and I just gotta say this, and my husband told me I shouldn't, but I'm gonna say, I worked for the town for years, and when I was asked by parents and administrators to do stuff, I got it done. I just didn't ignore it. This has been 2 months since I was here, and you guys said it was gonna happen in the next couple weeks. And it did. It happened the next week. But all this time has gone by, and nothing, it hasn't moved. And you drive by it, you know it, and you were here the day we talked about it. You said on that meeting, it would be here 1 week there, 1 week on Mill Road, and 1 week on Bump Road.
which we were told by the sheriff representative. But
Right.
Jan, you have to understand, it's not ours.
I
Like
know
we can communicate, which we have done through Katie, but this board can't go out and move it.
I know that,
Like,
but
we don't
have
have the
any of
ability to do
you
that.
communicated with the sheriff's department about it?
Yeah, through Katie.
Yeah.
So
you,
it's
you have
all,
those communications.
Katie's the only one that can do that.
She's our point person.
I called down there once and I spoke to the person who works at the desk and they said that they would pass this information on and I said thank you and as soon as you do that let me know and I never heard anything back.
So, what do we do about that? Like nothing? I mean, to me, as a taxpayer, I feel like, why are we paying this? I mean, I know we have to have sheriffs here. I get that. But we have people that are driving past my house so fast. I mean, you talked about the dust. I mean, I can't even go out for a walk in my house. Thank goodness it snowed yesterday, so I can at least walk today. The dust is crazy with the people going by my house at 40 miles an hour. And I just feel like, and the speed limit over there is 25. People are walking on the road. I watch them. They walk by my house. They have to jump out of the road because people are just flying up and down there. Coming up from the bridge, up past my house, up to the bump road and down the bump road. And I just feel like I'd like to have something more done. I don't know what else can be done. I know that dynamic speed monitoring displays, they're called. They have one in Brandon as you go in and out of the towns there. And they don't collect data at all. All they do is just tell you how fast you're going. And they really work. I mean, I went down the rabbit hole of looking, finding out about this. There's many, many studies on it. They do work. They do slow people down. And I know Katie even told me that she wrote a grant to get one for our town, but was denied. And I said, I'd hope you do it again if you want. But I just feel like for a 25-mile-an-hour speed zone that we have over there, it's being completely ignored by everybody.
Have you seen the sheriff sitting over there?
No.
No?
No. I mean, I know they've been there.
Because if you look on that chart,
I know.
Yeah.
I know. But they're not. Are they sitting there with radar? I don't think they are. They're just sitting there. I don't believe they had the radar. I don't remember that part. I just went through it. And then the other thing too is like on half the entries, some of them are written as East Road and some of them are written as East Street. So they're calling East Street East Road. So they're they're completely different places. I'm sure you guys all know.
There's a question I had about that, and I just looked at it quickly, and it said like 103. Well, that's not our jurisdiction as
That's
far
a
as
state.
hiring them to do it for us.
If they're sitting on 103 or 7, they're supposed to be doing it under state grants and not our
I
time.
saw some 103, but maybe I better read it through better.
No.
Maybe they're saying
We're
by
being
103.
charged with them going up and down 103 and Route 7. I know we are.
I think
That's what I'm thinking. But
I
like
asked
said,
that
I
last
didn't read
time
them
I
all.
was
I
here.
just read a couple of them for you
Yeah.
when you guys come in. Just
Sergeant Cross explained that like they do respond to other citizens' complaints and like Route 103 they have Gouchbergs
Right.
there and so that's why you do see them sitting there.
Well, I mean, if you really want to be picayune about it, I mean, I read through the whole thing. I mean, when I was here at that meeting last time, there was 3 sheriffs here, right? One of them charged us an hour and a half. One charged us 2.75, and one of us charged 0 for time being here. No, they were all here. So there's a discrepancy there, if you ask me. One of them had to do prep work too, which maybe they had to run some papers off, but I know we need, you know, law enforcement here. I want that. That's what I'm asking for. I just feel like maybe nothing will happen over there, but I've seen so many people drive so fast on that road, and there's so many people that walk their dogs, walk with their baby buggies, and there's like lots of ladies I see all the time walking, and it's
One thing I will say, out of all, because I'm all over town,
right.
your road is probably the heaviest traveled with walkers and dogs.
It is. Thank you.
Out of the whole town.
Right. There's everybody on that road walks. One of the reasons is most of the people on that road are retired.
Well, no offense, they're all, you know, your age group or the.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Right, that's what we do. We all walk. And when you're walking down the road, and you know, you mentioned the dust. My God, this week has been awful. But when you drive 25, there's no dust behind you. When you drive 40, you can't even see.
Are some of them bridge workers, you think? No. All
No.
Resident.
No,
Okay.
no, they are people who live between
Ninth Road and up through.
up there.
Yep.
They're coming up because the bridge is closed.
Yep.
And we were promised in the very beginning that we would have,
That's what the speed cart that they put there, first of all, they put it just over the rail tracks where people go slower over the rail
Right.
tracks, not slow.
right,
So it had them, it took quite a while to get them, move it down to where it was,
Yeah, to where it is.
where it is now, to be functional. But it should have been,
I know, I probably won't come again because I'm done. But I just want to be on the record that I feel like, you know, there's a certain sense of accountability when you work. I'm not pointing fingers or at anybody, but I'm just saying that when I worked at the town, I felt like I was accountable to so many people. If I didn't do my job, I knew it. And I was told, you know, you were supposed to do this and you didn't do it. So,
Katie, can you call once a day
Absolutely.
and
Both
just
of-
keep a record when you're calling?
and actually next 10 days, we got fairly decent weather with a little bit of snow coming.
it doesn't matter really, to be honest with you, up
No.
there.
No, what I'm saying is,
Right.
that speed cart, we're not gonna be plowing snow,
Would at least
not,
work during
well, I
the
hope
day.
not, for next couple of weeks.
I mean, there's one thing to get the speed cart, but the other thing is too, you need to collect the data and look at the data. So, I would, if you were to form a committee to do that, I would be more than happy to be on that committee.
Are they obligated to provide that speed contract? Is that in the contract? Are they
State?
obligated?
It's,
The sheriff?
it's not to my knowledge.
I thought we had a count when it was at the sawmill there, of
What-
speeds and
correct.
stuff
What
like that.
Alf's asking is it in our contract that has to be in town? The speed cart has to be in town so much a year. Is
Well,
that's what you're
Well,
asking?
I'm thinking if they're not complying with the contract, you say, we're gonna withhold payment until you comply and recognize our requests. That'll probably get good.
I'm looking at the contract right now because it was actually on our table. So
Yeah.
I'm just looking
I
to
don't
see.
think it's, there's nothing in there about a speed cart.
No.
So they just informally providing it. May not have
Let's try this once a day. Paul.
The squeaky wheel gets the grease, right?
Yes, there you go. And
I'm
so,
just, you know, I'm just looking out for my neighbors. I mean, maybe this will all go away once the bridge is open again, and, because it never was that big of a deal.
well, no, I'm more than
I'm
convinced that that's
I was
the
going to say, I'm
reason.
sure it's the bridge.
Oh,
truck.
yeah. And the trash, I mean, when I go through the police log there, and they're like picking up, you know, catching people littering. I'm like, come on over our neck of the woods. We stopped picking it up because we were picking up bags of trash and taking it to Hubbard's or to the dump and paying for it. And we're like, okay, we're done with this.
Yeah.
And it's all from people driving up and down from the road there. And the bump road, I mean, I don't live on the bump road, but I'm sure they're probably even going faster on there. They need to get tickets.
Coming down the hill.
No, on the flats.
On the flat
When
part.
you get up on
Really?
the top, then head towards East Clarendon Road, then flats up through there.
Yeah, it doesn't matter which way you're going.
Nope.
I mean, I pulled out up to the bump road tonight, coming over here, and there was another gal coming up right in front of me. By the time we got over the hill there, I couldn't even see her. She was gone.
Yeah.
That's how
the upper
fast they go.
flats. I mean, they go down the hill fast, but not like they do
Yeah.
across them flats.
And then you're familiar with, on our road, it's from the gully, from the dip down there, up, straight up the hill by our house. Past, and it gets so narrow
There
there.
are bottlenecks right there.
Yep,
Like,
yeah, right there. That's,
that's why the trees are marked. Hopefully someday we can open it up a little bit.
well, maybe someone will hit one and that'll fix it.
Is that a wish or a prayer?
I guess,
It's
I'm
not
just
gonna-
afraid someone's gonna get
not
hurt,
gonna
that's all.
matter.
I mean, when I go out there, we don't even walk when we used to walk because it gets too crazy then. We usually walk later in the afternoon and it's not as bad then. It's usually in the morning and late, like coming back from work.
Like commuter times.
Yeah.
So Katie, I think I would reiterate that too. I know we told them that when they were here, but that patrol times really should be targeted for
The 7 to
commuter
9:30.
commuter work
7
times.
to 9:30 or something.
Yeah, it's morning and afternoon commuter work times that are that are the problem.
Because your walkers are out there around 8 o'clock. 8, 9.
Well, I don't even walk that time anymore. I used to, but I don't go at the lunch now because I don't want to get run over.
I know the last time that we closed Gorge Road, a year or two ago, in the winter time, people were skiing and everything else down there.
Oh, we ride our bikes down there all the time. Well, we haven't since the bridge has been closed, but that's really nice down there.
The addition up will close that. You what?
Well, we did talk about that one point. After it was closed the last time, and then when we opened it, like how many people came and said, why don't you close it at least just during the winter?
Keep it closed.
Hmm.
Yeah, there's no harm with
So
that.
is consensus here for Katie to reach out to sheriff
Yes.
more times than once and give them the time,
Every day,
that time frame, and
every day.
okay.
And I, if possible too, to have them change their times that they're here on, patrolling. And like I said, I can't remember. I know that they say that I think it reads that they're stationary on Bump Road. That's all it says. I don't believe it says that there's radar. So, I mean, just being stationary is different than having a radar.
I also have contacted sheriff for all kinds of different things. And what I found out also is a lot of times they're not on duty till after 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
In the afternoons.
Yep. And we don't have, therefore, that tells me they don't have the patrol in the morning.
So they don't come here in the morning.
Good.
Maybe some. I see them once in a while.
Well, like I said, I have seen them down to the bridge. They have gone down and turned around. I mean, it's no more than about 5 minutes out of their loop or whatever.
It's time
they do.
frame.
If we do hear back, Katie, if you do have a conversation with somebody, let Jan know. That way we're keeping you informed.
Oh yeah, we talk.
Okay. Well, I just want to make sure. All right, I think we discussed this. Come up with Plan C.
Sure.
We're past B
Yep.
and A.
If you're interested in any of the studies I found about speed carts, I can forward them to you. They're quite interesting. I'm only saying that because I read in the minutes that there was some sort of consensus or, there was a non-agreement about whether or not they were very effective amongst the board.
We were at one point talking about just before you get into Woodstock over in Bridgewater.
Right.
How that it's not anything really legal, it's just
Right.
information, but when people see it, all of a sudden,
Right.
yeah. And so we did, remember?
Yeah, we had to, I don't think there was a dispute about their effectiveness. What we ran into was the cost effectiveness.
Yeah.
Like we were struggling with being able to, the tax burden of if we were going to buy, 3 or 4 of them, it was a pretty costly venture to purchase them with no grant.
Right.
That's what we ran into. That was the discussion that I remember.
Well, we can always go back to my idea of speed bumps, but nobody likes that one either.
It's a good idea.
I like that
I like
one
that
too.
idea.
Thank you.
You can have our potholes.
I noticed you said that after Cash walked in the other room.
Right. See, now they agree with me. Speed bumps,
all the way.
yeah, put
Out of
them.
Manchester has in the
Everywhere.
rec park, they have, they put divots in the road in the summertime, like water bars, and then they fill them in the wintertime, so they can plow over them in the winter stuff.
Right.
Love it.
So your excuse will be for filling in potholes. No, that's a speed bump.
Yeah, kind of.
Whatever.
All right, we gotta move along. All right,
Yeah.
let's see what we can do.
Thank you.
Any other public comments? Okay. Dry hydrant.
Yeah,
Well,
fun times.
Where are we at, Matt?
Well, we've done the 27-page permit, the wetland people want to do. So anybody who doesn't know about it, we put a dry hydrant in Chippewa by the fire station in 2012, and we called everybody, wanted to see if any permits were needed, and no permits were needed. And then some woman from the wetlands came for some reason and saw the dry hydrant, and it's in a buffer zone, and it requires a permit. And it's 27 pages long, and there's a fee. And so, yeah. We called Senator Collmore, we tried to exhaust all hopes we could find to try to solve this issue and stuff. And I found a couple loopholes in it, so we're venturing on a cover letter with a couple loopholes in it to hopefully help us out. But we're gonna submit the permit this week.
all right.
I don't want to submit the permit,
No.
but we're gonna submit the permit.
But I see there's 2 things here that I would have to sign. One is the letter suggesting just what you're saying.
Yeah.
That it was put in a long time ago. It's a short letter. Do you want to read it?
Basically,
We can give the gist. The gist of it is that back then there was actually an exemption to municipalities for wetland permits, and we're requesting that it be considered under that exemption. That no longer exists, but did exist
At the time.
in 2012.
Well, and just to note that the applicant is the Clarendon Fire Association,
Yes.
but
But-
it is in the municipality's right of way.
Right, so we have to sign a letter.
Correct. It's a joint. Ultimately, it's a joint situation.
The town road put it in for us way back.
So I'll make a motion that the chairman be
Sign.
authorized to sign not only the permit but the cover letter about the exemption as well.
Is there a second?
No second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Let it be done. You're gonna stay on this though, right, Matt?
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, I've got some connections with the wetland people now, so I met some new friends.
You're gonna be a
recently.
squeaky
I met
wheel.
some new friends in the wetland field this recently and stuff. They like me, and they yeah. They're throwing me some loopholes here and there, so that's good.
Zapata actually likes you?
No, she doesn't. She doesn't like the town of Clarendon.
She does not like the town of Clarendon.
And that's pretty much part of this right here. That's why she's here for that, because of that. It's,
How
yeah.
big's your excavator? Alright, move on.
Yep, new business.
Let's move on.
REMC reappointments.
Yes, so this is the Regional Emergency Management Committee. Matt Jacobowski's on it, as well as Craig Knapp. They served for the last year, and they're interested in being reappointed. So I filled
And
out.
if the select board wants to be appointed to one of the positions, I have no problem giving up mine, but you, Robert, if you want to do it.
I'll make a motion that we reappoint Matthew Jacobowski and Craig Knapp.
No second.
All right, all those in favor of the motion, please
Aye.
say aye. Anyone opposed? Decent. All right, contract for cemetery mowing.
You gotta open them.
These are the
We gotta open them, right, Kate? These are your stack?
Yes.
Okay.
And this
Spread
is
'em out.
also for your
Yeah.
budget purposes.
You want one, Care?
You're fine.
Cats don't feel left out down there.
I'm fine.
He just passed it, said, you take it, Mike.
Note that I did reach out to 8 or 9 contractors and twice, and I think we received 3 total.
This is Johnson's.
Martell's.
See ya. Carry on,
Take care, Al.
Simplify. Us Marines,
What do you got? for total on that?
1350. Let me see that. Cash, you wanna look at these?
Yes.
Or do you want me to just rattle off the totals for you?
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead and write them
Wanna go
down.
that way?
Sure.
Intrinsic property services, grand total for all of them of $13,050. Martell Property Services. Oh, and their hourly rate for intrinsic is $55 an hour for extra work. Martell Property Services $13,875 with an hourly rate of $65 an hour. And then Johnson's Refuse and Lawn Care at $8,375,
What's their rate?
and their rate is $75 an hour.
Why is there such a difference?
There was last time too. This is not. Yeah. This is not uncharacteristic. We've run into this.
Art, do you have any comment or suggestion?
I question that low bid.
I would look to our cemetery honcho in the front row. What's your take?
Johnson's doing it now. They've done it 2 of the last 3 years. We haven't had an issue. The problem is that they are just a 2-man crew.
Which is likely why their bid is also lower.
Right, they're a 2-man crew.
They're not coming in with 5 or 6 guys.
Their ability to, intrinsic, of course, they did it in the middle year. Last year was intrinsic, well, it's Johnson now, then intrinsic, and there was Johnson before that. Intrinsic came in with a large crew. When they broke the stone, they responded to it, paid it off. You know, my only concern has been possibility of cleanup in the spring and only a 2-man crew. I mean, intrinsic lines up everybody up at the far wall and they just leaf blow all the way to the front. And I've had no problem with Johnson's, you know,
In the time they've done it.
no, neither time. They've been responding. You know, I go in the cemeteries and check areas, and they've responded to, you know, mowing areas and keeping things knocked down. So, but there is some health issues with, and I guess maybe personal. Well, that's another issue. I'll get into that. I've had no problems with Johnson. I've had no problems with intrinsic.
Are we able to hire somebody else for the extra work if that come available?
You could.
That's not built in that contract.
The fall cleanup and
Fall-
spring cleanup is in the contract.
They're built in.
That hourly rate.
So
They're
it is
built
part-
in at the hourly rate.
Right, so it is basically we got guaranteed them the job.
Yes.
Okay.
The contract's written that way.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Both of them.
based on what Kevin said, I'll make a motion that we go ahead and renew Johnson.
Yeah, because we're $4,600 difference.
I'll second.
Is there any further discussion, any comments? All right, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Right?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Katie, I'm gonna put that in here. In there. All right. Heidi, do you have anything you want to report?
I'm all set.
Gloria?
Oh, I'm good.
Katie?
I know last meeting from my report, I mentioned that I was trying to follow up with Shrewsbury about communication about the river maintenance plan. And I did hear back from them that they were just too busy at their last meeting to discuss it, so they're going to discuss it at their next meeting. So I'll hopefully have an update for you at the next meeting.
Sure.
And, just before we go into members' concerns, select board members, is there any other comments? Everybody spent a lot of time in here.
One thing, like,
Yeah,
I think we were talking about the cemetery. I took the door off the receiving vault next door here.
yep,
I'm gonna work on it. Hopefully, in the next couple of weeks, people repair it.
Don't tell me you found somebody.
It was a struggle, but I overcame them. So if you get any calls, and, well, I'm hoping no one notices it, that it's gone.
yeah,
But if you do get a call, just like the stones I took out of Spafford
yeah,
for the tree removal, you know, if you do get a call,
that's the reason.
That's
that's the reason.
If you need a hand with, if you need a hand doing any of the woodwork, let me know.
Hopefully I won't, but I will.
Okay.
If anybody wants to go for scoop back to the tools. After the meeting. Well, I tell you what, there's nothing like being able to see, you know, at least you can walk in and walk back out.
Hard to believe that all these
Still
years,
there.
yeah, that's where they kept our bodies during that cold weather. All right, I entertain a motion to go into executive session on personnel.
So moved.
He beat you.
Yeah, that's good to me.
You want a second?
I'll second.
Okay. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right.